Oh, yeah. Welcome to Wrestling Uncensored. I am Dave Simon. He's Johnny North. RingsideReport.net is the website. Go there. Go download the podcast. Watch the shows. If you're listening to this on the radio, you can watch our shows on the YouTube channel. You can like this video. You can leave a comment. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel. Click the bell when you do so you get notifications every time that we're on. Johnny and I were on watching the Royal Rumble live with you this past weekend. It was a good time watching the Rumble. I'll be back on next weekend for a live watch-along for UFC 247. John Jones back in the Octagon taking on Dominic Reyes, and that'll happen next Saturday night, so be sure to check that out as well. All the info for everything that we do, Ringside Report MMA, and pro wrestling with Wrestling Uncensored over on the website ringsidereport.net.
And if people don't know, you have a big bet for that event as well.
Which one are you talking about?
For the UFC, Jones against Reyes, you have a huge bet for that. So,
is it a huge bet? It's a dozen bagels. It's not really
I think a lot of people are looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to this because it's been a long time coming that you haven't got any bagels. So,
do you think AJ actually delivers this time with the bagels?
I don't know about that. It'll be fun. Fun to see. Hopefully he brings it ahead of time, and maybe you bring some too, so then someone will get something.
Yes, as I have John Jones in this fight, and my co-host, one of the co-hosts on Ringside Report, my main man AJ has Dominic Reyes, and we bet a dozen of Montreal's finest bagel.
I like you in this one, but still, just to be safe.
Yeah, odds makers have John Jones at a minus 420 favorite. Heavy favorite going into the fight. I feel pretty comfortable going with the undefeated world champion, greatest of all time, John Jones, in that fight. But we're not here to talk about MMA, Big Johnny. We're here to talk about professional wrestling, and we have a lot of wrestling to cover here on the show. A lot happened since the Royal Rumble. We recapped the Rumble really on the Rumble show that we did when we were live watching the Rumble. So if you want to hear our thoughts on the Royal Rumble, you can go to the website. But right now we're going to kind of look forward and see what's happening at WrestleMania and maybe try and figure out what's happening at the Super Showdown, because that is the next big event. I don't know if everybody's aware, the WWE is not really advertising it, which is a bit surprising that the first show back, they're not starting to promote the next big one, which is Super Showdown, taking place in, 3-4 weeks' time here? The February 27th in Saudi Arabia. And that's, of course, why the WWE is keeping it so quiet, because they're going to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, but also this is not the last pay-per-view for WrestleMania. There's still going to be another pay-per-view, Elimination Chamber. And it feels like kind of like last time we went to Saudi Arabia, those matches, they didn't really mean that much. They were big matches, but in the grand scheme of things, it was pretty much a glorified house show practically.
I don't know. The Brock Lesnar, Cain Velasquez thing was pretty big. The Tyson Fury, Braun Strowman thing was pretty big.
But nothing really changed, though. The Bray Wyatt thing, okay. But it felt
Bray
like
Wyatt did win the title. He took the title from Seth Rollins. That was a pretty big deal.
That was huge.
And they do big events. I mean, Cain Velasquez and Tyson Fury have both had one match each in the WWE, and it took place at that last Saudi Arabia show. So let's not pretend like these Saudi Arabia shows aren't a big deal. They are. And the WWE is going to do a big show here coming up on the 27th of the month. And I'm looking forward to it. I think we might see the return of Cain Velasquez. Who knows? We might see a little preview of WrestleMania with some guys. We might see Drew McIntyre in some sort of big match. Drew McIntyre, a big story this week. He is the #1 contender for Brock Lesnar, and he made it official this week on Raw. He will be challenging Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. And the wrestling fans loved it. And we're going to get to that in a minute because I was a bit confused. Edge is back, and it seems like he's going to be wrestling Randy Orton. We are going to be giving you our top 5 matches that Edge must have now that he's back in the WWE, reportedly for a 3-year contract. Samoa Joe suffered a concussion, it looked like, on Monday Night Raw, which is a real setback there. We'll get to Joe. MVP was back on Monday Night Raw. Montel Vontavious Porter, The Bella Twins are pregnant. Johnny North, are you responsible for this?
I'm not. Daniel Bryan should be, no.
Well, for one of them.
For one of them, at least. Yeah.
And that Artem dancing guy, I think, is the baby father for Nikki Bella. So congratulations to the Bella Twins, to Daniel Bryan. That other guy, I mean, he's not in the wrestling business, so he doesn't get our congratulations because this is Wrestling Uncensored. This isn't Dancing Uncensored. Johnny North hosts that show. Go to dancinguncensored.com.
I can't wait for AJ to be on that show. It'll be fantastic.
You should really start hosting a show where you watch Dancing with the Stars, and you should call it Dancing Uncensored. I'd watch it.
Don't they have like the Masked Singer? I wouldn't mind doing that. Apparently that's pretty popular.
So you want to do Masked Singer Uncensored?
Well, a watch along for that would be fun, I think.
Okay, I'm into that, Big Johnny. We have a new commentary team for Monday Night Raw.
Why?
I don't know, but we do.
Okay.
Did you notice?
Yeah, but like I didn't get it. Like,
what happened to Vic Joseph?
what was wrong with him? I thought he was fine.
Why did Tom Phillips get the spot instead of Vic Joseph? Where'd Vic Joseph go? He kept reading things on the internet. Vince McMahon loves Vic Joseph's work. Well, apparently not. Not that much.
But I think Tom Phillips was really good because he did Worlds Collide on Saturday, so maybe he impressed him enough to take the Raw spot.
Off one show? It's kind of weird. Andrade suspended. Wellness policy violation.
But still the champion.
You want to take some random guesses on what he did to violate the wellness policy?
I have no idea. D-ball? I'm not sure.
I don't know. I have no idea. Do you think it's a performance-enhancing type thing, like a steroid thing, or maybe a recreational type thing, like a cocaina type of thing?
I think he was trying to build mass quickly, perhaps.
You think? A diuretic? Who knows? Who knows what it could have been, but he's been suspended for 30 days. WWE not telling us what he did, but he's been suspended for 30 days. Retains the U.S. title, though, on Monday Night Raw. He had a match with Humberto Carrillo, and Humberto gave Andrade the DDT on the exposed concrete after the match, thus writing off Andrade from TV. That'll explain his absence. They'll say he was injured at the hands of Humberto, but really he's been suspended due to a wellness policy violation. Interesting, though, that the WWE suspending him but choosing to keep a title on him while suspended. Not something they usually do.
Well, I think it tells you one of two things. One, they really want to push Andrade, and Humberto not so much. It's kind of unfortunate, but usually in these kind of situations, I feel like almost all the other times, the title always switched hands. Doesn't matter who it was, but I guess they really want to push Andrade, which makes a lot of sense. I feel he's the kind of guy they want to build into like the next Drew McIntyre.
I think Andrade is very good. I think he's a talented guy. Do you think that he retains the U.S. title while suspended if he's not engaged to Charlotte Flair?
I think that just helps kind of thing. I think Paul Heyman just really likes him a lot.
I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just wondering.
It's just
because she's kind of the golden child of WWE. You know, she's very protected. She won the Women's Rumble. She's going to WrestleMania. She's one of the top stars in the company. It helps.
I think it just
doesn't hurt. Doesn't hurt.
It's a nice coincidence. That's about it.
Yeah, I'm not saying that, you know, they kept the title on him because of Charlotte, but it's probably a factor.
Well, I think down the road, eventually they're going to be a faction together, I think.
I hope so. I'd like to see them all together.
Because you see videos online, and eventually that's just going to carry over into WWE. It kind of always does, in a sense.
If you follow Charlotte or Andrade on Twitter or Instagram, you are bombarded with pictures of them together as a couple. Like, they are nonstop posting pictures of themselves together. Why not make it a TV thing? Like, at this point, because they push it so hard on their social media, you're kind of like, yo, put it on TV already. I mean, we all know what's going on here. What are we waiting for?
Isn't there like a video of them working out at like the Performance Center too?
There's so much.
Yeah.
There's so much of Charlotte and Andrade. Everybody knows. Yet, they haven't gone there.
Well, I guess they don't need to right now because Charlotte's doing her own thing, Andrade doing his own thing.
Yeah.
For now, it's fine, but later on, I think eventually, yeah, why not?
They could acknowledge it, though.
They could. They don't need to right now.
You know, they congratulate the Bella Twins that they're pregnant on Raw. Bella Twins aren't even on TV. They don't congratulate Charlotte and Andrade on their engagement. They congratulate Becky and Seth, you know? They don't say anything about Charlotte and Andrade. Why not?
That's interesting, yeah. It's interesting they don't do that.
I find it strange.
Well, Charlotte's been engaged before too, right? And that didn't work out too well.
So? Doesn't...
Maybe they're worried.
I don't know.
Concerned.
I don't know. I think, they should be a little bit more respectful, but that's a whole other thing. Riddick Moss debuted on Raw. I know you're very excited about that, Johnny North.
Not so much. I mean, okay.
Who's Riddick Moss?
He was in, I think, NXT, and then he was cut from NXT, and then he was brought back to NXT.
Okay.
So that's all I really know about him.
And we'll get to some AEW stuff as well. AEW did Dynamite this week. It had the lowest rating of the year for their show, but it still beat NXT, which shows you where the Wednesday night wrestling shows are at these days.
I thought it was an all right show from AEW. It just wasn't one of their better shows, but it just goes to show you they don't need one of their better shows to beat NXT in the ratings.
I'm interested in what's going on Raw, mostly because of Edge.
That was the best, I think, thing they had this week.
The Rated R Superstar for sure was the best thing they had, and Randy did a very good job in that final promo deal that he did with Edge. So Edge comes out, he talks about his road to recovery, being back, and he wants to retire on his terms this time. He's 46 years of age. He had another surgery on his neck. He rehabbed, and he feels better, and he's ready to go. He says he was in the Rumble, and he talked about lots of different names that he hopes to meet down the road, name dropped a lot of different guys, and he says he doesn't know how long this comeback will last. Randy Orton shows up, hugs Edge. Seems like a really emotional moment. Randy talks about how he was self-destructive in his younger years, but Edge was always the one who took his hand and kind of pulled him out of the dark spots. And Edge was a real mentor to him growing up in the WWE. And that was real. That was a legit thing that Randy was saying right there. There's nothing that didn't feel fake, that didn't feel written, that felt like Randall Orton saying that to Adam Copeland, right?
You could tell they're really, really friends.
Yeah. There was real emotion there, which I love in pro wrestling when it's real. Keep it as real as possible because we know the outcomes are predetermined. So everything else should feel as real as possible to make it feel real, even though it's not,
Well, that's the best way to do stories when it's like, well, this is kind of going on. They really don't like each other. So, yes, we want to see them wrestle each other. In this case, we know they're really friends, and, yeah, we'd like to see them team up again with each other.
So, Randy says, hey, you're like a brother to me. Edge is in tears. Randy's in tears. And it's a real moment. And Randy asks the crowd, what if Rated RKO, the tag team that they had, got back together? And the crowd goes nuts, and they love it. And it's really nice. And then, of course, Randy hits the RKO on Edge because he's the Viper, and you can't trust Randy.
Also, Edge threw out Randy in the Rumble, so it made sense.
Revenge.
Yeah.
Revenge. And, it makes sense. Edge is back, but Randy's a competitor, and he doesn't want anybody standing in his way, including his friends, like Edge. So he hits Edge with a chair. And then he ponders for a while what to do next. It took forever because
too long.
It was way too long. Way too long. But there was emotion there. And he put Edge's head in the chair, and it looked like he was going to stomp on Edge's head and maybe break his neck again, And the way he was doing it, too, it was awful. It was creepy, and it was good. The way he did it when he was putting the chair over Edge's head. And he was saying, and Edge was kind of like twitching, and Randy's like, it's okay. It's okay. Kind of like he was putting down an animal,
Yeah.
It was horrifying. It was real. I felt it. I was like, oh my God, this is ugly. Randy can get ugly sometimes, and that's Randy now that he's a seasoned veteran. He's good now. He understands how to be Randy Orton very well at this stage of his career. And that moment was really good. It was really well done from Randy. And then he decides not to do the stomp on the head. Instead, he puts another chair under Edge, and he hits him with the concerto, which is what Edge used to do to people, which I thought was kind of nice, actually. I was like, oh, he didn't break his neck. He just gave him a little concerto, which is kind of like paying tribute to Edge, because that's what Edge does, concerto. Remember in the video games you used to do concertos? You used to be able to do a concerto. I forget which game that was in, but Edge was over, man. I'm so happy to see him back. 9 years away from wrestling. You thought he was done. They put him in the Hall of Fame. And now he's on TV again. It's tremendous.
I feel it was SmackDown versus Raw, one of the early ones, I think.
Yeah.
That's when you could do it. One of two things. One, where was like the security / referees? Like that took forever and nobody showed up.
No one wants to save Edge. Nobody in the back. There's not one babyface wrestler you could get to help Edge at this point. Really, guys? Come on. Kevin Owens? No? Nothing?
It took too long. It didn't make any sense that no one would come and save him.
And it was one referee when they finally did. It was one ref like, hey, Randy, stop that.
And two, like, he gave him a chair shot to the head, so isn't that like a violation of the wellness policy that they have as well? You're not allowed doing chair shots to the head.
Well, I mean, it's one thing, and he didn't really hit him in the head. He hit the other chair.
Right, but there's the intent of, like, hitting the head right there. So.
Yeah, well, you're not actually allowed to connect, but if you have an illusion of a chair shot to the head, it's okay.
That's okay.
Yeah, come on, John.
It's really borderline right there, but all right, fine. You could easily make a mistake right there.
I thought that was the best thing on Raw this week.
That was the best thing in WWE, I think, in wrestling this week.
Yeah.
Nothing beat that.
Yeah, there wasn't a segment in pro wrestling, AEW, WWE, NXT, whatever. Nothing beat that. That was the best thing.
Quite emotional. Very emotional.
Yeah. I don't know if you have to be an Edge fan to kind of get it. Because, there are wrestling fans now that don't really get it. Like if you're, say, 15 or 20 or, in your 20s, you may not have that same attachment to Edge that older people might feel because he's been gone for 9 years. And it was good that they showed those videos of what Edge has done over his career throughout Raw to kind of get you prepped for Edge. And it's like, hey, by the way, this is Edge if you forget. But for us, growing up with Edge as Edge heads, it's cool to see him back, to see him in shape, looking so good, and like wrestling again. It's crazy. Like there were a lot of rumors, and at a certain point, I believed it. We told you that Edge was probably going to be in the Rumble. It was a big surprise. It was really exciting to see him, but we kind of expected it to happen, right? Because the rumors were so strong, it was kind of like, it's gotta, like, why are these rumors out there if Edge isn't coming back? It was just bizarre. So it felt like it was definitely happening, but still seeing him show up in the Rumble was exciting. And seeing him on Raw is exciting. And knowing that he's going to wrestle at Mania against Randy Orton, it's going to be fun.
Well, it's one thing to appear and, do a spear and, do a taunt here and there, but to actually like get physically involved, he was in there for quite a while too. I think 21 all the way to pretty much the final 3. That's a long time. The fact that he was able to put that in, and more than likely he's going to wrestle for years because he signed a 3-year deal, so they're expecting quite a few matches from him. I don't think we'll see a lot going into WrestleMania. I guess they're going to sell this injury, but still, afterwards, I'm expecting he'll be on the roster almost full-time.
Full-time or semi-full-time?
Well, like Daniel Bryan kind of thing, right? But that's still pretty good. Like, you see Daniel Bryan practically every week.
You think Edge is going to work house shows?
Maybe not so much. But house shows are dying anyway,
He might.
We'll see. I mean, he doesn't need to.
Edge is back. The rated R superstar. One of the best to ever do it. One of my favorite wrestlers ever. I'm so happy to see this guy back. Now that he is back, we know he's going to wrestle Orton at Mania. 5 matches that you need to see Edge wrestle now that he's back in the WWE.
Well, we kind of talked about this before where it's like, oh, what matches do you want to see Edge wrestle? And it's like, there's matches that I want to see him wrestle, but I'm not dying to see him wrestle. I mean, it'd be cool to see him wrestle Kevin Owens. I think AJ Styles is probably at the top of the list. Then
needs to happen. AJ Styles needs to happen, right?
Right. And I'd like to see Daniel Bryan, but I'm not dying.
Needs to happen. Daniel Bryan and Edge needs to happen. Please. Yes.
Okay.
Those two guys are at the top of my list. Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles. Any great wrestler comes into the WWE, Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles are always going to be at the top of my list for who they should wrestle because they're the two best things going in pro wrestling, right? There's nobody better than Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles today, despite how they're positioned on the card. Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles are still the two best wrestlers that are in the WWE. Disagree?
It's hard to disagree with that. It's true. But I still.
And what are they doing at WrestleMania?
Well, AJ, like, he'll just come back in time because he's out for like 6 weeks apparently.
Yeah,
So-
Edge hurt him.
Well, no, he hurt himself because he took too good of a bump on the spear.
Yeah,
so.
he took a super bump on the spear and hurt his shoulder. And you could tell in the Rumble, AJ was hurt. So AJ is hurt, but he should be back for Mania.
Yeah, but just like a couple weeks just before Mania, so
They don't want none. What's he going to do?
I'd be worried. Remember, Kevin Owens came back just before WrestleMania, didn't have a match last year WrestleMania, so.
AJ Styles.
Well, I think AJ's going to get a match, though.
He better. What's Daniel Bryan doing? Still not clear.
I think Daniel Bryan, Nakamura, if Nakamura successfully is able to get there all the way to Mania, sure.
Yeah, I don't know if he will.
Well, you still have a couple pay-per-views in a couple weeks, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's going to be
Yeah.
rough.
So, AJ Styles, Daniel Bryan, Kevin Owens I'd put up there for opponents for Edge. Those three guys. I think Seth Rollins would be a fun match too.
Yeah, he's number 4, I think, without question.
Now,
The Styles work, I think, pretty good with that.
there is one man that I really would like to see Edge wrestle at this point in time, but it would take a lot for it to happen.
Talking about Christian?
I am not talking about Christian.
Wow.
I'm talking about CM Punk.
Yeah, I don't really want to see that whatsoever.
I think that there's a good story there. I think that there's a good match there. And I feel like when Edge left, when he retired, it opened up the door for CM Punk to kind of take over. He kind of took the role of that like rocker, tattooed #1 main event guy, you know?
Okay.
And when Edge was there, Punk was like not at that level.
he was lower.
He
Yeah.
never got there until Edge left, and it seemed like Punk kind of took a lot of the fans that Edge had, a lot of the demographic that Edge had for the WWE audience, and he took it and it went on to Punk. And, I mean, there's other stuff that they have in common. I don't really need to talk about it.
Beth Phoenix is what you're saying?
Well, Lita. I mean, they've both been. I mean, I don't know. It's a bit strange in wrestling. These things happen. But like, Edge is married to Beth Phoenix. CM Punk dated Beth Phoenix for a long time, and Edge had a long-standing deal with Lita on TV and the whole Matt Hardy thing. And CM Punk was with Lita for a while. Now they're all happy and everything's good. But there's that history too. There's that element to the story. It's not as important, I think, about that maybe Punk could say Edge held me down and I wasn't able to kind of get to the top until Edge. I just think that their styles would make a good match. I think at this point in time it would be a good match. It would be a fun little comeback match for CM Punk to have. I'd like to see it. I just want to see CM Punk, really. I'm trying to get CM Punk interested in some sort of match, Edge is a big star. He's back now. Maybe he could lure Punk out of retirement and into a match. Maybe Punk respects Edge enough that he'd want to come back and have one with Edge. I don't know. I don't know what's going to get CM Punk back into pro wrestling. At this point, it's really unclear, and it seems like he might not.
Well, I think the problem is there's other matches you want to see Punk in because he has heat with other guys. Like Triple H, you want to see that.
I don't think there's any way CM Punk comes back to wrestle Triple H. He left the company because he didn't want to wrestle Triple H. You think he's going to come back to wrestle him? I do not. I get it. It makes sense. But no.
And then there's Seth Rollins, who called him out.
Yeah, that would make more sense. Seth is an active wrestler, Edge and Seth Rollins, I think, could be big.
Oh, yes.
Edge and Kevin Owens could be big. Edge and Samoa Joe could be great. There's so many matches that Edge could have. But at the top of my list, I'd have to put Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles, Kevin Owens.
Well, I got to say number 5, I got to go with Brock Lesnar.
Oh, what?
Because
you want to send him back into retirement?
Because it's dangerous, right? You're
too
worried,
dangerous.
You'd be scared. Hey,
too dangerous.
Other people have done it. Daniel Bryan did it.
That's true. That's true. Daniel Bryan retired for 4 years. He came back. He wound up wrestling Brock down the road.
If you want to be the top guy, you got to wrestle Brock.
Hey, you know who we didn't mention?
Who?
Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, I don't really want to see it. Like
because in nobody's dream match does Drew McIntyre exist. Nobody's asking to see Drew McIntyre. No one cares about Drew McIntyre.
he's up and coming kind of guy, so like he's proven himself with this Brock match. You don't believe that, I understand.
This is the least anticipated Brock Lesnar match at WrestleMania since Dean Ambrose.
I don't know, the Triple H match, I didn't really care for that either.
I mean, at least it's Triple H. At least he's the game. At least you think he might beat Brock.
And he did, unfortunately.
Yes, right. That's right, I did. What are you going to do about it? I'm the cerebral assassin.
No, but I'm actually looking forward to this because I think Brock's going to beat the crap out of Drew, though, in this match.
Yeah, I think Drew probably wins, though.
Okay, but he's going to take a good beating, though. Sure,
Don't
but
you think he's going to win?
probably, but he's taking a very good beating, I think.
So?
I enjoy that. I enjoy when Roman got beat up by Brock. It was fun.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
They're trying to build new stars.
Yeah, but this is who they choose? Every time they choose to build a new star, I'm like, him? That guy?
I would have gone with Kevin Owens, but
yeah,
they went
Drew
with
is
Drew.
34. Okay. He looks like $1 million. Kevin Owens is 35. He wrestles and talks like $1 million.
Right?
He's like a modern day Steve Austin. And they went with Drew McIntyre. Was Kevin Owens even in the Rumble?
Yeah, he was 27 or 26.
Oh, yeah. How'd that go?
He got eliminated by Seth.
Yeah.
He's feuding with Seth.
Yeah. It's good.
Wow. Could be better, but at least he's going to be on WrestleMania this year. He wasn't even on last year.
Is he?
Yeah, I think he will be.
What's he going to do?
Something with Seth? Makes sense, no? I feel like it might be Seth versus Joe versus Kevin.
For what?
That's a good question. I don't know for what.
Yeah, that's not happening. Like, I understand building new stars. And I understand that Drew McIntyre looks like, a wrestler. And he's big and he's jacked and all of that. But when he opens his mouth, not much there. His matches, I mean, did you love his 2-on-1 beatdown of the OC this week on Raw? What was that?
Well, he squashed them.
Yeah, why? All of a sudden, he's a guy that can squash the OC?
Well, he squashed other tag teams. He squashed Ryder and Hawkins, so now
he squashed the Viking Raiders next, and,
well, that's a little too much.
The New Day,
Wrong show, but...
Well, it doesn't matter. It seems like this guy's all-powerful now for no reason in particular. Drew McIntyre was a mid-level heel last week. And now, after winning the Royal Rumble, the WWE has positioned him as the top babyface on the card. What?
Well, that's why we get these squash matches to help build him up where you can believe he can beat Brock.
Don't you think it's a wiser move to have somebody that's already, semi-built in that direction rather than start somebody from scratch and try to build them over the next 2 months leading into Mania? All of a sudden, Drew McIntyre is a guy that we're supposed to love and believe in like he's Roman Reigns. Even though last year at WrestleMania, I think he got squashed by Roman, didn't he?
He didn't get squashed, but he lost, yes.
He got beat pretty good.
Competitive match, though, back and forth.
All right.
It's been a long time since we saw someone in the Rumble who hadn't won the title already win the Rumble. He's a fresh new face. They're trying to build something with this. I'm not saying that he's the top pick, but they like him, so they're going to go with it, and let's see how it goes.
If he's not the top pick, and he's not, where is he on the list even? You look at...
Oh, he's not that far down.
No?
No, besides Kevin, I think he's number 2. On Raw? I mean, come on. Who else on Raw? That hasn't already been champion, because Rey Mysterio's been champion.
Samoa Joseph.
I think I put Drew over Samoa Joe.
Joe's a bit old, I guess.
Well, it's not just that. It's just, he's got a better look, and he's just a little bit more entertained right now. Though
Is he?
Joe just came back, so I feel Joe doesn't do that much.
On Raw, I mean, I guess it's kind of slim pickings. You don't have a lot of great options. I would have been happier with Aleister Black.
Wow. Yeah, but that's really like out of nowhere, like from the bottom to the top. Wow.
Mid-level to the top. That's where Drew came from, basically. And there were rumors that it was between Drew and Aleister Black. And they went with Drew. I would have gone with Aleister Black.
Well, he's really unproven, though. I mean, he barely makes pay-per-view, though.
Yeah. But those kicks are nice.
Okay.
I like him in the ring. In the ring, I like it.
Yeah, well, that promo...
In the ring, the Drew McIntyre stuff, not much. There's not much there.
That Aleister Black promo in the ring wasn't that much either. Like,
no, but neither was Drew's promo to start Raw. Fans chanting, "You deserve it," for some reason. Does he, though?
Well,
just because you've been around for a while, just because you got fired from the WWE and got rehired, doesn't mean like you... I don't know. Maybe he does. There are Drew McIntyre fans out there. I don't know. But I'm starting to think, like, maybe I just don't get it anymore, you know? I'm starting to watch wrestling, and the more I watch this stuff, the more I see these people and who everybody's cheering. I'm like, really? This guy? Jon Moxley? Yeah? This is your guy? Okay. Maybe it's not for me anymore. Maybe I just like the old guys.
you've gone through these phases before. Remember Wade Barrett?
Yeah. Well, what happened to him? See, it's not me going through these phases. It's them going through the phases. Like, I'm right. I have a track record of being right. They push Wade Barrett. I'm like, nah, this guy's not a main eventer. And now he's not even wrestling.
He's a commentator.
Right. They push Ken Anderson, and I'm like, no, this guy's not a main eventer. And I was correct.
Well, he got unlucky, though, in a lot of ways.
You know, it's them. I'm like, Jinder Mahal is not really a main eventer. And where is he now?
Well, he's injured, though.
Okay. Before his injury, where was he? Come on now.
Yeah, he was doing nothing. It's true.
It's them going through these phases.
What about...
It's not me. Might as well make Mojo Rawley the Royal Rumble winner.
Oh, I think he's okay with 24/7 champion. Where would you rank MVP in all this, though? He came back on Raw this week.
It was like one last match. He said it was his last match on Raw.
That's kind of sad.
I'd rank him as like too old to even be in the conversation. Isn't MVP like 50? What are we talking about?
Is he 50? Wow.
Yeah, man.
He looked pretty good then, actually.
Oh, he looks great. Oh, he's 46. Sorry, no disrespect. He's 46. Same age as Edge.
Well, there you go. Comeback.
Yeah, well, MVP, I think, is kind of towards the end of his wrestling career. And as far as I know, he said that he was wrestling his last match on Raw. Like, this was just a little comeback, a short stint.
Okay. Well, that's too bad.
Yeah, I wouldn't put MVP in there with Brock.
No, I wouldn't either, but it was just fun to have him back, though.
And the match with Brock and Drew, I'm sure will be fine. I'm sure he'll take a good beating.
Oh, yes.
But then, what?
Well, then you give him a run and see what he can do as champion.
Against who? Seth?
Yes.
Then we have Drew and Seth again with the roles reversed. Was it good the first time?
I mean, at times.
Come on, man.
I feel like there was...
I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand what they're doing. Why are they pushing him as a top babyface on Raw? Why not go with somebody who has organic support from the crowd? But you know what? At this point, they've told them what to do and how to act for so long. There is no more organic support from the crowd. Nobody has that. Rey Mysterio is the only guy that's actually over as a babyface. Is there any other babyface that's actually over on Raw right now? Edge and Rey Mysterio. And I guess those guys are too old to be in the conversation for main event and WWE champion.
I would say Rusev, but they don't really push him that hard, unfortunately. They could, but they don't.
But that's about it, right? Like, who's actually over strong as a babyface? Who gets a big pop when they come out? Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, that's it, really.
Right?
But that's why he's always on Raw. They need him.
He's the best.
He's up there, without question.
He's one of the greatest of all time. Booyaka, booyaka, 619.
Well, the longevity is incredible. But the problem is now, where do you go with him now?
I don't know. I have no idea. Well, I mean, they could have made him WWE champion back when he wrestled Brock. They could have done that.
But they didn't.
And they could have taken the whole company in a completely different direction. But they didn't.
And they gave him the U.S. title for like a couple weeks.
We're just sticking with this whole Brock Lesnar thing. Brock and Drew now.
Well, to be fair, people want to see Brock, though.
Do they?
I think so. People want to see someone finally put Brock down. It still works. It still draws.
Seth put him down already last year.
Yeah, and then Brock just came back.
Yeah, Brock just comes back. They build these guys up as their top babyface. It doesn't work out. They turn them into a mid-level heel, and then they're like, let's build another guy as a top babyface. Look at Seth Rollins. He's got no clear direction for WrestleMania. He's a mid-level heel. He's a tag team champion. Last year at WrestleMania, he beat Brock Lesnar and was a top babyface on Raw.
Well, he'll probably be in the tag team title scene, right?
How are they supposed to build big stars long-term? The only big star they really concentrate on building long-term is Roman Reigns.
Well, you could say Brock, too. I mean, they think...
Brock, too, I guess.
They're big stars, really. That's it. That's who they focus on.
Dana White thinks Brock Lesnar is going to fight in the UFC this year.
Well, when you think about it, we've done this so many times with Brock. I mean, maybe it's better to move on and let Brock try something else for a little bit, at least for a couple months.
How many years is Brock Lesnar going to play the UFC and WWE off each other before Vince finally says, all right, pal, just go fight. Forget about it. Like, how long is this going to last? Brock's 42.
Well, that's another thing, too.
Like, he doesn't have that many fighting years ahead of him.
Didn't he say, like, he was kind of, like, done, like, fighting just period? Like, he didn't have it in him anymore?
That's what he said, but Dana White thinks otherwise. And he's the president of the UFC, so if he's saying it, maybe he knows something.
Well, I guess if the right fight comes along with the right price, I mean, yeah, anything can happen, but...
Yeah.
I don't think he'll be ever, like... We talk about going for titles. I don't think he'll ever be going for the UFC heavyweight title again.
Oh, I strongly disagree.
Really? He'll go for the heavyweight title again?
Stipe Miocic. I mean, we're going to get into a little MMA here for a second, but Stipe Miocic is a heavyweight champion of the world. Everybody in UFC and MMA wants him to fight Daniel Cormier in a trilogy fight because they're 1-1. Stipe doesn't want that fight. He wants to fight somebody else, and Brock Lesnar is a guy that he wants to fight. He wants to fight Brock Lesnar or John Jones. He wants a money fight. He wants the money fight, and he's the heavyweight champion. Any heavyweight champion, any champion really in the UFC would fight Brock Lesnar because of the money. Like, Stipe would take that fight in a heartbeat. If you offered Stipe Miocic, Brock Lesnar, title defense, he'd take it. Brock could easily walk into the UFC today and get a title shot.
Yeah, but it's a lot like the DC fight where it's like, well, it's not a good fight for Brock because he's probably going to get beat up in that fight.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
You never know. Heavyweight fighting, man, you never know. Probably. I'd bet on Stipe to beat up Brock, though.
I bet on DC as well.
But if we won all our bets, we'd be millionaires, John, so you never know, right?
Well, you wouldn't win that much, too, because they're more than likely going to be the odds-on favorite against Brock, who hasn't fought in years.
If we bet all our money on them, we could make something, but then it's risky, John. And I don't want to take that risk, all right? So I am not going to bet against Brock Lesnar, you know? Shouldn't bet against Brock. He's the beast incarnate. And I could see him going back to the UFC. I could see him dropping the WWE title at WrestleMania. A lot of things are on the table right now. And the WWE, for some reason, has decided to turn Drew McIntyre into their top babyface, at least for the next 2 months leading into WrestleMania. Why? Not sure.
Something new, something different.
Yep, that's all anybody could really say. Like, that's the only explanation anyone has. It's something different. Yep. All right, we're going to take a short pause here. When we come back, we will tell you a little bit more about what's going on in the WWE, what we have to look forward to for WrestleMania. What is Charlotte Flair going to do at WrestleMania? She won a Royal Rumble. And some other stuff going on in the WWE. Why a new commentary team? And AEW as well. They have a big show coming up next week and a big show coming up at the end of the month as it is the countdown to Revolution taking place on the 29th of February. It is Wrestling Uncensored. Short pause for the radio side. Stay with us. Yeah. Got to do a quick commercial break here. At the Ringside Report Network, this is for Stitcher Premium. Now, we produce podcasts. We have been for many years. Many of you have been using Stitcher to stream or download our shows. Wrestling Uncensored, Ringside Report MMA. Stitcher offering you the Ringside Report universe as part of their sponsorship of our work, a special offer on the premium version of their service. Besides all the podcasts, you can listen to over 100,000 different shows on your iPhone, Android, tablet, PC, Amazon Echo device, or in your car. On demand, ad-free with Stitcher Premium. The Joe Rogan Experience, Something to Wrestle with Bruce Pritchard, MMA Fighting, and so much more. You get Stitcher Originals, bonus episodes, comedy albums. It's just $4.99 a month or $34.99 a year. What you want to do is go to Stitcher.com/premium to sign up today. Use the promo code RINGSIDE for a free month of Stitcher Premium. Stitcher.com/premium, promo code RINGSIDE for a free month, just like that.
Excellent.
How do you love it?
I like the way you read that. It's good.
Thanks,
Solid.
John. I like that you all compliment me. Fred and AJ like clap when I do the reads sometimes. It's nice. Makes me feel good.
Well, you make it look easy, but we know it's not easy.
It's not that hard.
Does take practice, though.
Yeah, it takes a little practice, I guess. And reading comprehension. Here is another one for our good friends over at IP Vanish. It is the IP Vanish birthday month special. Big offer from IP Vanish. You can save up to 67% off your annual VPN subscription, along with 250 gigs of free SugarSync cloud storage. Go right now. This is only on until the end of the month. This offer ends on the 29th of February. $3.99 a month. As low as $3.99 a month for your VPN. You need IP Vanish. You need to protect yourself on the internet. Make sure you are safe when you are using a public Wi-Fi hotspot. You're using that public Wi-Fi. It's not safe, okay? It's not safe at all. You could easily get hacked. It happened to Kamaru Usman, the UFC welterweight champion, and it could happen to you. That's why you need a VPN on your phone and all of your devices, your iPads, your MacBooks, whatever you got. You need IP Vanish. You need a good VPN, and IP Vanish is the one that we recommend for you. You go to vpn.ringsidereport.net, vpn.ringsidereport.net. You sign up today. You let IP Vanish know that we sent you by going to vpn.ringsidereport.net.
I noticed last night you flipped off AJ for some reason when you were reading this.
He was doing something.
Okay.
Wasn't he doing something?
Well, I think
He was acting...
he was trying to promote something, it looked like.
Oh.
And, you kind of cut him off.
Well, he was, distracting me. He was trying to mess with me while I was reading the ad, so I flipped him off.
Okay.
Sorry, you didn't like that?
Well,
a problem? You got a problem?
I didn't understand, was there something going...
You got a fucking problem here, Johnny?
was there something going on that I didn't notice or something?
No.
Okay. Sometimes you guys have issues. So
No, we're good. Me and AJ are always cool. We're super cool.
Can't wait for the bet. Should be good.
Oh, man, I can't wait for that fight. I mean, John Jones is obviously going to win, right?
Yeah, but you never know.
That's true. You never know. You never know.
I bet on Jones, obviously, but...
Fucking right.
Who
Kidding
knows?
me or what? All right, let's get back to the show. Okay?
Yep.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, welcome back. It is Wrestling Uncensored. I am Dave Simon. He's Johnny North. RingsideReport.net is the website. Go there. Enjoy the stuff that we have for you over at RingsideReport.net. I don't need to tell you about it. You know what's up. Wrestling. What happened this week, John? What else is going on? We talked about Edge. We talked about Randy, their match at WrestleMania. Drew McIntyre is going to wrestle Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. WrestleMania 36 taking place live in Tampa Bay, Florida at the Raymond James Stadium. So far, the only match that is official is Drew versus Brock. But you know that Edge and Randy is going to be a match at WrestleMania. Charlotte Flair won the Women's Royal Rumble, and there are a lot of rumors going around. We thought, oh man, Becky and Charlotte again?
Boo.
I don't want to see that, right? But it seems like that's not where we're headed. It seems like Charlotte Flair is going to challenge NXT champion Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. That's the rumor going around, at least right now.
That's kind of weird. I mean, you challenge the top women's competitor, no? Who is Becky? Makes the most sense. I understand Rhea's got a lot of momentum, and yeah, it'd be cool to face her, but it's a great matchup. But still, in terms of kayfabe, it doesn't make sense.
Well, maybe it does, John. Think about this. Rhea Ripley's the NXT champion. Rhea Ripley beat Shayna Baszler, who was like the queen of NXT. No one was beating Shayna. Shayna beat Becky at Survivor Series in a triple threat.
Okay.
So who is the best?
You're really stretching it out.
Well,
here,
if Shayna beats Becky and Rhea beats Shayna, maybe Rhea beats Becky too. That match hasn't happened. And maybe Charlotte Flair, been there, done that with Becky Lynch. She doesn't want to wrestle Becky again. She knows what that's about. She wants to challenge herself. She wants to take back the NXT title. She wants to face Rhea Ripley. Why not?
I really shouldn't argue this because I don't want to see her against Becky or Bayley. So
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, make Rhea. It's just like, it's weird you go from Raw down to NXT. Not many people do that. I know Finn did it, but it's kind of odd Charlotte would do that.
Just for a WrestleMania match, though.
Okay.
One
fine.
match. It elevates NXT.
Yeah, well, it puts them on the card, right? So, yeah.
You know, you make NXT a real factor in the Rumble, too, because it's like, here's a Rumble winner challenging an NXT champion. It adds prestige to those titles.
Mainly, it's just the matchup. That's it. I just want a fresh match.
It's a good matchup.
Well, it gives Becky and Shayna, more than likely that's going to happen as well. So I'm all for that. Like,
Yeah.
Let's do that.
I think it'll be Becky Lynch defending the Raw title against Shayna Baszler, and I think it'll be Charlotte Flair challenging Rhea Ripley for the NXT title. And I think Bayley will continue to defend the SmackDown title, but I'm not sure who she will defend against.
Could be like a multi-woman match or something.
Yeah.
That's fine.
No clear-cut number one contender for Bayley right now, right?
Well, Naomi came back, so.
Maybe Naomi. Naomi had a good showing in the Rumble. She did a little move there where she was on the outside of the ring and
on
then
tables, yeah.
jumped back in. That was cool. I like Naomi. I'm a big Naomi fan.
There's really no one else on SmackDown, so.
Yeah. Bayley's going to be the one that's kind of might be on the pre-show, you know? Because Becky's going to have a big match. Charlotte's having a big match. And Bayley. Give Bayley Ronda.
Yeah, well, that's not going to.
That'd be awesome, though, wouldn't it?
If Ronda showed up, I'd be surprised. Maybe she will, though.
I would not be surprised. I think Ronda will show up at Mania. Just Mania. Not before, but I think she'll be at the event itself. In one way or another. Like, she might just be ringside. She might be in somebody's corner, you know, but she's going to be there. I think she'll probably be involved in the Shayna-Becky match.
Yeah, it makes the most sense.
Yeah, she has to be there. They should get Conor McGregor.
I don't think they really need.
Come on, like you want to get a superstar. You want to make Mania larger than life. You want to really bring it for WrestleMania. Conor McGregor's the man. He's the biggest star in all of combat sports, right? Is there any hotter name right now than Conor McGregor? Has been for the past several years, still is. Superstar. You get him to show up at WrestleMania, it's a big deal.
Yeah, it'd be cool, but let Conor do his fighting, and then when he's done with that, then he can go to WWE.
Imagine like Conor versus Brock Lesnar in the WWE. It'd be crazy because it could never happen in the UFC because of the size difference. But in the WWE, they could do stuff like that. Conor versus Brock versus Cain Velasquez triple threat match. It'd be massive. That'd be the coolest thing ever. I would love to see that.
I'd rather see Connor against like a guy like Daniel Bryan or AJ Styles. That'd be interesting.
Nah. I'd be more interested in seeing him wrestle Brock. That'd be so fun. Are you kidding? Imagine Brock suplexing Conor McGregor around the ring.
Easily.
That'd be amazing. People would freak out if they saw that. Are you kidding me, John? This is why I should be helping the WWE book this stuff, or I should be a promoter or something, because I understand what would be money. And the image of Conor McGregor getting German suplex by Brock Lesnar in a WWE ring would be iconic. It would live forever.
It'd be cool, but
it's worth whatever money it would cost to get Conor in there.
They're not big on doing that. They're okay with Kane, I think, doing that, but they have Matt Riddle, and they don't want him to touch Brock.
Yeah, Matt Riddle's not Conor McGregor. I mean, no disrespect to Matt Riddle, but most people don't even know he fought in the UFC.
That's kind of weird. I knew that.
Well,
wow.
You knew that, but most wrestling fans, I'm not sure if they know.
Huh.
I mean, some of them do, but there are a lot of UFC fighters in the WWE. Well, not a lot, but there are a few. But none of them are Conor McGregor. None of them reach McGregor status. If they had, they wouldn't be in the WWE. I mean, other than Brock, who just gets super paid all the time. Right? Brock kind of reached that status. Not quite. He's not making $100 million for a fight. Conor said his last fight he made $80 million. Brock never hit that in the UFC. But he made tens of millions. Maybe 10 or 20.
How much does he make a year for just the
WWE?
5 matches he wrestles?
Yeah, I don't know. Millions, right?
Yeah. He's got a good deal.
Brock's got a very good deal. Matt Riddle's not making that money.
He wants to, though. He's pushing for it.
Yeah. Well, he won the Dusty Rhodes Classic there with his tag team partner, Pete Dunne.
Well, it's weird. They're pushing him, and they put him over on a video package against Brock.
Yeah.
But apparently Brock doesn't want anything to do with him whatsoever.
That's just rumors.
I wouldn't be surprised, though, if it's true.
That Brock doesn't want to have a match with him?
Right.
Well, why would Brock want to have a match with some guy who isn't even NXT champion? Brock, what's in it for Brock?
And talk smack about him, too, and, says he's going to retire him and, end his career. And
Well, that's just building a match. That's just trying to angle towards a match. Matt Riddle does that. He tries to get matches on Twitter, but he's going to retire him. I mean, whatever. Retire him from what? Pro wrestling? Come on.
Usually when you do something like that, you work with the guy. You talk to them. You don't just do it, on social media and just put it out there. If you don't talk to them ahead of time, sometimes you can upset them. And I wouldn't be surprised if it upset Brock.
Yeah, because Brock's on Twitter reading that stuff.
He's not, but other people are, and probably other people come up to him and say, hey, you hear about this? You hear about this? And they keep hearing about it.
Brock's a businessman. If it made money, he would do it. It just doesn't make any kind of sense right now because Matt Riddle's just a guy in NXT.
Well, that's it. It's not great for Brock, so Brock doesn't want to do it.
Well, yeah. The only reason Matt Riddle's saying it is because Matt Riddle fought in the UFC and Brock Lesnar's a big name, and, But Matt Riddle fought at 170 pounds in the UFC. Brock Lesnar fought at 265 pounds. Cutting weight.
Well, the same thing with Conor, right? That's the highest he ever
fought. Yeah, and Conor fought at 170, but really, he should be fighting at 155.
Right.
Yeah, he's much smaller than Brock.
So
that's why it would be funny to see him fight him in the WWE.
It's a little much. But
No, it would be great. People would love that stuff. Are you kidding me? The two are the biggest box office draws in the history of combat sports, history of the UFC. They could never, ever fight in the UFC, but they could have a match in the WWE. It would be massive. Massive. Every UFC fan would watch, and every WWE fan would watch. And people that aren't WWE or UFC fans would watch just because they'd hear about it and they'd want to see it. If that was Brock's match at WrestleMania, it'd be crazy. Off the charts.
Well, I say
sign Conor, get that Drew McIntyre stuff over with, Get it done in Saudi Arabia. But Conor's busy in April. He's got a fight to watch.
He's supposed to fight 3 times this year, no?
Well, I think he's going to wait to see what happens because he wants to either fight Tony Ferguson or Khabib if one of those guys can't fight because they're fighting in April, Ferguson and Khabib.
Uh-huh.
So if one of those guys gets hurt, Conor wants to be ready to step in and replace to fight for the title. So He's kind of busy in April around WrestleMania time. So if you're going to make him an offer, it better be a massive offer. Not going to be a match, obviously, but like a setup of a match for down the road, some sort of appearance. If WWE really wants to make WrestleMania big, he's a guy that they could go after to make it even bigger. Tyson Fury, I don't know.
Well, he's got a big fight coming up too, Tyson.
Right. Cain Velasquez should come back. He was rumored to be in the Rumble.
I think that was like
He was even advertised, I think. He was advertised somewhere as being in the Royal Rumble, right?
I think they took the original advertisements and they just carried on with that. That was the problem. I think, originally he was going to be in it, but nope. I mean, knee surgery. It doesn't make sense, right?
Right. It didn't make any sense to me. I was like, how is he back from his knee injury?
If he comes back for Mania, I'd be surprised.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate for Kane.
Yeah, but he wasn't in the thing, so I don't know. The Cain Velasquez thing is really weird because he showed up. He had one match with Brock.
Dream match, too.
It lasted like 60 seconds.
I thought 2 minutes, but okay.
Okay, whatever. It was very short. And then
it ended.
That's it.
Yeah.
Brock beat him. Brock beat him, too, which is like, really?
Well, he kicked
Because
him
in a real fight, that ain't happening. Kicked him in his injured knee and then locked in his patented Kimura that, okay. I mean, Kane could have easily passed that half guard, but whatever.
He did not, though.
yeah, he did not, but like, he could have. Come on, Kane. So Brock wins in that match, right? And then Cain Velasquez just disappears. That was it.
Sad.
He had one match in Mexico with Rey Mysterio after that, and then that was it. It was a non-televised thing. And we expect him to come back at some point, but not yet. I would have preferred Kane Brock WrestleMania than Drew and Brock, right?
Of course, but if Kane's not good to go, I don't want to see another 2-minute whatever that was again. I'd rather Kane wait until he's healthy again.
Yeah. Hopefully it'll be soon because I like Cain Velasquez. I'm a big fan of Cain Velasquez from his UFC days. And I've interviewed the guy. I like the guy. I think he's a good guy, smart guy, tremendous fighter. I still think he's the greatest heavyweight fighter that the MMA has ever seen. And I think he's a really solid pro wrestler. Seeing his stuff in Mexico, he seems like he's got some real talent there. He's an amazing athlete. He's an amazing guy. He's a guy that could be looked at as a real role model. And, man, I just hope he can come back to the WWE soon. I love Cain Velasquez. I love Samoa Joe as well. He had a match against Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy teaming up with Kevin Owens on Raw this week, and he had to leave the match because he suffered a concussion doing a dive, hitting his head on the floor, and then Kevin Owens went on to lose that match to the tag team champions there, Rollins and Murphy. So hopefully Joe isn't too banged up and he can come back soon.
I think it was part of the story, though. I think that was supposed to happen. So it's unfortunate if it is real. But
You don't think it was a real concussion?
I think he may have been actually hurt. It's very possible, but I don't think
It looked real.
I don't think it was a concussion, though. At least
Really?
I hope it wasn't.
Huh.
Because you would have heard something like that. Oh, Joe's going to be out. You don't hear anything about that. Usually they always post that out. AJ, we heard it like the next day. He's out for like 6 weeks.
Oh, they didn't announce any kind of injury report on him?
I heard nothing.
Oh, suspicious. So maybe it's not a real concussion.
I think a storyline like injury, yes.
Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, Kairi Sane apparently had a concussion from that match she had a couple weeks ago there at TLC, and
She was always on TV.
yeah, she stayed on TV. Had a match even not long ago. Right?
I think last week, yes. Yeah.
So, all right. What else is going on here? Liv Morgan beat Lana.
Well, that was nothing. That was really disappointing.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Not a great match. Is that the resolution of the whole thing? Is that it?
I kind of hope so, but I feel like it won't be. I feel like we're going to get another one.
Okay. This thing is just not going away. And that's pretty much what's going on in the WWE. Riddick Moss debuted for some reason. He's with Mojo Rawley. R-Truth tried to get the 24/7 title back from Mojo, but Riddick Moss put a stop to that, and then Mojo took it back from Truth. And, yeah, Mojo's doing that thing with the 24/7 title. I don't hate it. I don't understand why Raw's commentary team keeps getting shuffled around. Tom Phillips is now the main guy. Byron Saxton's on the team now, and Jerry Lawler remains. When they started this thing, it was Dio Madden, Vic Joseph, and Jerry Lawler, and they said Jerry wasn't going to stick around but Vic Joseph and Dio Madden were a month or two later, and Jerry's the only guy still there.
I guess they like 3-man groups, I guess. That's the main reason why they've done this.
And the 3-man band. I mean,
well, he's gonna be a champion soon, so yeah.
Right.
Just Heath Slater needs to be WWE champion now.
Yeah, to complete the trifecta of ridiculousness.
Well, he was tag champ at least.
Yeah. We're just a 3-man band. All right. AEW Dynamite, where things make a little bit more sense.
In a sense, I mean, there was action. I don't know if it made sense, but okay.
Okay. John Moxley came in. He's doing the whole pirate thing. He's got an eye patch because Chris Jericho spiked him in the eyeball. Moxley cuts a promo. Jericho shows up. He cuts a promo, talks about Moxley's mother, seeing her backstage and how she was looking good, and he's going to give her a call later on. And then he said he apologized to Moxley's mother for what he's going to do to John Moxley at the pay-per-view Revolution. And then Jericho introduces the Inner Circle and then introduces the South Bronx Thugs that Santana and Ortiz brought with them, which, like, what was that? Who were those guys? Thugs. So it was a 10-on-1 attack of Inner Circle and the South Bronx Thugs all jumping Dean Ambrose or John Moxley, whatever. And then security showed up and kind of broke it all up. Crowd was really into Moxley because they were in Ohio and Moxley's from Cincinnati. They were in Cleveland. Moxley talked about Ohio. They were all very excited about being in Ohio.
Well, he also comes through the crowd too, right? So people love that entrance. People love the look too. That whole like renegade kind of look.
People are liking John Moxley these days. He seems primed to win the AEW title at Revolution. I'm hoping he doesn't.
He hasn't lost yet, so I mean Jericho makes the most sense for him to lose. I just feel that maybe even if he doesn't win the title at Revolution, I think next pay-per-view he'll probably beat Jericho.
I don't know. I like Jericho as the champion. I want him to be the champion for a long time. Le Champion. I mean, the crowd just started singing the song when he comes out. That's a thing that's got to last for a while. And what is the Inner Circle without Jericho as their leader with the belt?
It's going to be a different group.
You know, like they're not as good.
Okay.
Without Jericho as the champion, the Inner Circle are just like guys. It's like Santana and Ortiz and like Sammy Guevara's there and Jake Hager's there, but he's mostly just Jericho's bodyguard because he doesn't even wrestle. So the Inner Circle is not really anything without Jericho as front and center, Le Champion, the guy that they all have to defend. Like the Inner Circle's whole reason for being is to keep the AEW title on Jericho.
Well, you know Jericho's leaving, though. You said it last week where he's going to be
he's going on tour. Doesn't mean he's got to drop the AEW title.
Hopefully, he'll still do promos, at least tape promos, and we'll see him every week. But, yeah, to wrestle, not so much. We've got him see him wrestle like 2 weeks in a row now. We're kind of spoiling a bit.
Yeah.
I think he's trying to get it out as much as possible right now.
I love when the crowd sings Jericho's song when he comes out now. That's like a new thing.
It's cool.
It's very cool.
But they also boo him right afterwards, which is kind of weird.
Well, because it's a respect factor. You know, you boo him because you love him. You know, he's a great heel, so you show the respect to Chris Jericho. Le Champion. I like the Cody Rhodes and Kip Sabian match. I thought that was good stuff. Arn Anderson getting kicked out of the match after bumping the ref. He got all mad because Penelope Ford threw her shoe in the ring to distract the ref from making the cover there when Cody had him. Cody eventually hit 3 crossroads on Kip Sabian. Cody's angry, and I like it.
I think it was the best wrestling match on this show.
Yep.
It's a lot of no-selling, though, unfortunately, but that's AEW, though.
I didn't mind the Young Bucks against the Butcher and the Blade. I thought that was all right.
I thought the Butcher and the Blade were going to win, actually. I thought this was the whole thing that, MJF paid them off and they get the win. Nope. Elite win.
And they have this whole thing where MJF enters like a butcher shop where they're cutting meat, and he gives them an envelope that says the Young Bucks on it. It was kind of weird. And then, the Butcher and Blade just suck. They can't even beat the Bucks. But after the match, they attack them. But Kenny Omega and Hangman Page make the save. Hangman Page told Matt Jackson, "Hold my beer," and then he did the buckshot lariat, and then took his beer back and finished it and left the ring. It was pretty good. I like this Hangman Page character. He's like kind of friendly with the Bucks, but not really. He's drunk. He's Kenny's tag team partner. They're the tag team champions now. And coming up on Wednesday on Dynamite, it'll be the Bucks and Kenny and Hangman all together against the Butcher and the Blade and a tag team of their choosing. Who do you think it'll be?
They announced it. It's going to be the Lucha Brothers.
Oh, okay. That's a good 8-man tag.
Yeah, it'll be good. I mean, I think the styles difference was a lot in this match, and I guess they put the Lucha Brothers in there, so it's better for the Bucks, I guess, to do more of the flips.
They're going to be live in Huntsville, Alabama for this show on Wednesday night. Dynamite. Britt Baker cut a promo. Again, I thought it was great.
This was better than last week, that's for sure.
Man,
she kind of drifted last week. This time she kind of kept it on course.
Man, she went very hard at JR. She's like, never interrupt me again. You interrupted my promo last week. You're smug and pretentious about my division and my generation. JR, you pick up a big paycheck while the wrestlers are busting their ass in the ring and you can't even get their names right. Like, man, she went really hard on JR. And JR, like a couple segments before, called MJF Matthew Jacob Friedman, and then MJF corrected him. He's like, I'm Maxwell Jacob Friedman, JR. So, yeah, JR does screw up the names sometimes.
He screwed up the names in, like, WWE.
Yeah. Well,
Jericho and Benoit, he's always screwed that up every
Did he?
week. Yeah. Like, this is nothing new. It happens.
it happens.
Michael Cole's even worse. So.
You're doing a lot of commentary. You're going to make some mistakes. JR is the greatest to ever do it. Britt Baker, who are you? Who have you ever beat?
Well, I like that they're really selling her heel turn because now she's really becoming hateable. And it's great because Riho's friends pretty much are all faces, right? So she's pretty much going to feud with Riho's faces until she faces her.
And cutting a promo on JR and Tony Schiavone is kind of a good idea because they're more over as baby faces than Riho is.
They're more over than most guys in the company, so yeah.
Exactly. So when you're a heel and you want to get heat, cutting a promo on JR, one of the most beloved guys, makes a lot of sense. Great work. Great work by Britt Baker this week. She did more in that promo this week than she's done in her entire AEW career to get over.
It was better than the women's match you saw this week.
Yeah, that was not great. Nyla Rose and Big Swole, not great.
I guess Nyla Rose is the number one contender now, so we're going to see that match again.
All
Yeah.
right. Chris Jericho, Proud and Powerful, beat Darby Allin and the Private Party in the main event. Not the best main event.
Not the best. You missed the SCU match as well.
Yeah, the SCU beat Angelico and Jack Evans.
And then Dark Order came out.
Yeah, they wanted to get Christopher Daniels in their group, and Daniels denied them, and then, yeah, they're like, we're going to attack all your guys, Chris Daniels. Dark Order. Dark Order's still a thing. I also didn't talk about Pac's weird promo where he was outside for some reason in just his wrestling gear, and he had, like, you could see his breath. It looked cold. I don't know why he was outside in, like, a park of some sort doing that promo. It was strange. Just wear clothes. You're in the street. Wear street clothes.
The awkward part was when he was coughing.
Yeah.
That was
It's
weird.
like, dude, you're obviously cold. Why not put a shirt on?
Yeah, I don't understand the idea
It
behind
was
that.
weird. What was also weird was that after Jericho and Proud and Powerful beat Darby Allin in the Private Party, they beat them up after the match for a while before Jon Moxley came out and made the save. It took forever for Moxley to show up and stop Jericho from beating up Darby Allin.
Because there was too much time left in TV, so they had to make it longer until he comes out at the end.
Why not make Moxley's post thing longer? You know, like make the beating longer, make something longer. Dragging out the beating of Darby Allin in Private Party, it's like when Jon Moxley shows up, it's like, dude, where were you 5 minutes ago? You could have stopped this beating. Meanwhile, Darby Allin's completely broken in half.
Right.
You know,
Okay.
Jon Moxley maybe saved him from death, but he didn't save him from, like, a vicious beating.
Well, Moxley doesn't have to save anyone. They're not friends. He just did it because he doesn't like the inner circle and he got fed up with it. So that made sense. And if anything, if you have Jericho in the ring and you can extend him longer, let him run with it because Jericho's gold. Jericho's the best thing going. Jericho's the reason you watch this show.
That's true.
Where's his thank you?
And Kenny Omega.
Yeah, Kenny too, but more so Jericho.
And the Bucks. For me, those are the guys I watch the show for. Kenny, Bucks, Jericho, Hangman.
I say originally, but
Everything else?
I say Cody now for sure.
Oh, Cody too. Yeah, sorry, Cody. For sure, Cody.
And even just the tag team wrestling. The tag team wrestling is some of the best tag
Mostly
team
the Elite. I watch the show for the guys from the Elite still.
Okay. Well, I think SCU's all right too. I don't mind seeing that. I want to see this SCU Dark Order stuff, actually.
All right, John. When's your next match? When can people see you in the ring?
It's going to be February 23rd in Montreal North, 4325 Industrial Boulevard. I'm in a tag match. It's going to be me and Bjork against Don Boulanger and Drew Onyx.
Nice. So more info on that. You could follow him on Twitter at North Genesis, on Instagram at Genesis Johnny North. You could follow me on all the things at Dave Simon MMA. RingsideReport.net is our website. If you're listening to this show on the radio, you can download the podcast. You can watch this show on our YouTube channel. Everything is available at RingsideReport.net. Like the video, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, click the bell when you do so you get notifications every time that we're on. Big thanks to everybody for helping us out on the radio side, and a big thanks to you for listening and watching. For Johnny North, I am Dave Simon, and this has been Wrestling Uncensored. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.